Let's get educated. That's why we're here, to bring you the stories impacting K-12 classrooms and college campuses. It's time for a little education.
Welcome one and welcome all the way to infinity. I am Katie Petrick, joined as always by Mr. David Fiorazzo. Now before we get started, hey, we all know of David's, I'll call it affection / obsession for all things that are pumpkin spice. Well, just so you're aware, tonight we are putting his senses to the test with our pumpkin spice challenge. Is it spice or is it not nice? Now, we went to the stores, I went to the stores, and we bought up all of the things that are pumpkin spice. For this evening, David and I are going to try all the things that are pumpkin spice. All of them. Okay, not all of them, because there's like a million. But we are trying many pumpkin spice things.
I'm drooling just thinking about it.
Are you?
Yes.
Well, get a napkin and
work
on that. So make sure you tune in tonight and maybe have a paper towel as well, like David needs.
I'll be ready.
At 7 p.m. Central to enjoy our very first food challenge in the lunch line. Just so you know, it's going to be spicy. We start today in Ankeny, Iowa, where we have a mama bear who decided to fight fire with fire by dressing in the same skimpy outfit that a drag queen wore to seductively, of course, dance in front of kids at school. David, what are we talking about?
So this is a fascinating story, and guys, when you see this, if you haven't heard about this, kudos to this mom.
Mama Bear.
Oh my goodness, yes, Mama Bear. She's the founder of the parental rights group, by the way, Iowa Mama Bears. But here's what happened. Months after this Iowa school hosted a drag event featuring multiple performers who encouraged students to explore their gender identities, one mother wearing the same outfit as one of the performers, now this is key, blasted school board members over their alleged failure to address parental concerns. So why was she upset about this particular drag guy or drag show? Sorry, drag person. Watch this first video.
David, are you okay over there?
Ouch!
Usually the gentleman, anytime that happens.
Ooh.
But I guess in this case,
yeah,
A-okay.
Yeah, pretty elastic there, but I forgot to mention the mom's name, Kimberly Reichs. God bless you. There she is, guys. Now, she was apparently, upset like a lot of mama bears and a lot of dads were by seeing this at the school. And she said this, I think we've got a video of her, but she was upset basically because it was months and months since she complained to the school board and she didn't hear anything back. In other words, they poo-pooed it, which a lot of school boards do, unfortunately. That's changing little by little, but so she said we're into the school year. She doesn't have any answers, but during her presentation, Katie, we just saw a picture of her. Just your thoughts. That takes guts to do that in public, especially if you're conservative, but she made a point saying, hey, this is what the drag guy dressed like in front of your children.
Well, I'll say it takes balls to do that, which she apparently has more kahunas than the drag performer does, as we can see there. But what she did, she actually went up to the school board and she had a jacket and sweats on and started telling the school board, hey, it's been, 131 days now since this has happened, and yet you're all sitting up there, school board, and nothing, crickets. And so then she takes off the sweatshirt and the pants and has the drag performer's, I guess, outfit underneath, which kudos to her for also taking her own hard-earned money and investing in that outfit, which probably cost a lot of money because the fewer the amount of clothing, pretty much the more expensive it is. But anyway, so she stood up there and then she had, I'm guessing, a fellow mama bear or a friend, whoever it was, hold a poster actually in front of everyone. And David can tell you what was actually on that poster.
Well, before we get to that, and we are going to talk about that. It's an important part of the story. But let's look at the video of the mom who actually discusses this school board allowing it to happen. Go ahead.
This outfit make you turn your head? Does this outfit seem appropriate for anybody here? to see? Because if this makes your head turn, if this pisses you off, then it should. Because this guy walked into our school doing it. This is not okay. This is not okay for you to see. This is not okay for our kids to see. And I hope to God you guys do the right thing and you put it into it. You make a public apology to us parents who have to have our kids sit there and go through this. Because this is wrong.
So Katie,
Mama Bear,
this is not okay, she said. What do you think if gutsy mama bears would try this in school board meetings across the country? Do you think that would have an impact? Because seeing it in person might be a little stunning to some, but this is what the kids are seeing.
well, this is what kids are seeing day in and day out. And she even says that, it should upset you and, that she purposely violated what the dress code is to do this. Mm-hmm. It's at this moment in time, because of the way we as a society act, the shock value. Like, nothing really does shock us anymore.
Yeah.
It's almost like because she's trying to show that you should actually have some sort of decency to you, by her coming out there to put the shock in to prove that you should have decency, she's doing opposite, but then that's what provides the shock, because we're so accustomed to, like, if she would have just walked down the halls, no one probably would have said anything, because it would have just blended in with everyone else kind of in these outfits. But it takes this kind of attitude and I guess spunk, if you will, in front of these who are supposed to be adults representing and helping your children to get any sort of a response. And the thing is, it may not even come, as she's already been in front of them before to talk about it. It's been 131 days. And at this point, it's been much longer than that. So does anything, now that she put the outfit on, does that finally get them to move? We don't know.
I hope so. Iowa Mama Bears. And there are Mama Bears across the country, hopefully in groups like this. Now, let's see the poster we were talking about just a minute ago. Put that up there. This is amazing. It's a dancer. It's a drag guy. But look at his face. This guy is satanic, apparently. That's just demonic. And now in our schools, now that's what he was dressed like, and that's what the Mama Bear, Kimberly Reich, that's what she was not mocking, but patterning herself. Look at this. So she's dressing like that, and this is okay for kids? Well, I'll bet a lot of adults at that school board meeting that maybe did not know about this, and you have to assume that some of them didn't. I'll bet they were shocked, but it's Ankeny Community School District. Apparently they're notorious for dismissing parental concerns, and she and other parents desire assurances that their children are provided a safe and secure environment at school. I want to end on this note as far as my point here, and I want to get Katie's response. According to studies, now this brings us all kind of together, as many as 90% of young people who claim a transgender identity, 90%, but are not encouraged to socially or medically transition, 90% of those will no longer identify as transgender when they become adults. 90%. But what we're seeing is, Katie, teachers and some parents are affirming, thinking they're helping these confused children, and that's causing a lot of problems that they're going to have to live with for the rest of their lives.
And when this statistic came out, right away, I know all the defenders are going to say, well, that's 10%, David. That is 10%. But you have to think it's the 90% of the ones who do claim transgender. How many claim transgender? What percent overall? Very few to begin with. Yep. So if 90% of that very few to begin with, we're probably talking, again, like one who isn't. One, maybe per school, unless you're in these big blue cities, which may be more. But you're changing everything, and I mean everything, for everyone else of the 99% for the one. I'm not saying ostracize the one. I'm saying work with the one, help the one.
Yes.
But you're leaving the rest to just bow down to this satanic type action, according to that drag queen, right? He's a Satanist, so that's where we're at.
Yep, it's interesting. All right, still to come, friends. An Alabama middle school teachers survey asks students about their gender identities and their parents' political beliefs. That's next.
If you have a smartphone, tablet, Roku, or Apple TV, consider downloading the Freedom Project Media app. It's 100% free. and includes all of our weekly shows, plus lecture series, archive programs, and award-winning animated videos for families like the Presidential Minute, Battles of America, and Heroes of the West. Don't rely on the social media giants to keep you informed. Simply download the Freedom Project Media app from your app store and allow notifications. And we'll let you know when a new video is ready.
There's nothing like poking the bear. See that transition? Mama bear, if you can. Okay, nothing like poking the bear.
Nice.
All right, well, we have a teacher at an Alabama middle school who decided to hand out a survey asking not only gender identity, but, you know, hey, what are your parents' political beliefs? I need to know that. Here we go. Hey, this happened actually at the Huntsville City Schools. Specifically, this was a civics course. At least I'll put it out there. At least this wasn't in math class or gym class. Like, by the way, I need to know your parents' political beliefs, because we've reported on many a time that happening. So it was a civics course at Challenger Middle School. Great name for a school there, Challenger. These students had to complete a 48-question survey that allegedly asked children if they identified as cisgender, transgender, or non-binary. And according to parents, it also asked them if they would choose or would be willing or choosing to participate in extreme body modification.
What?
I guess any of us over the age of 30 might want some extreme body modification.
EBM,
but
extreme body modification.
That's just, maybe eating better and working out. All right, anyway. Parents had stated that they were not notified about the questionnaire or the nature of the questions. And one anonymous parent, because as we know, if parents actually put their names out there and the school is aware of it, you might get put on a list on Facebook.
They'll be doxxed.
Will be doxxed. A la, was that Fairfax? I think it was Fairfax or Loudoun County. It was one of them in Virginia that did that. Anyway, okay, back to the point. An anonymous parent said the very last question was, are your parents liberal or progressive in their political thought? And the only answer was yes, no, or neutral, which I feel is very inappropriate to ask a child, and it only asked for liberals. And it is definitely targeting conservative parents. And again, this is a middle school. Middle schoolers already don't know what's happening most of the time.
Exactly.
Adults don't know what's happening most of the time. These adults don't know the difference between liberal, conservative, what these ideologies actually mean, much less a middle schooler. So if you're a middle schooler, you have three options, apparently. What are you putting down? Who knows?
This is like an attempt at data mining.
You think?
It's pretty scary.
Yep.
So I like the part in the article over at The Blaze. I asked my daughter, where did you get this question from? And she said, I had a survey today in my civics class, and that was one of the last questions on the survey. This is really astounding, and they're not even hiding this.
Oh, why would
Katie.
they? No, they don't.
Because
they don't care.
Do you think the assumption is that most kids in that class won't even tell their parents?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. Especially at the middle school.
Yeah.
What'd you do today?
They don't
Nothing.
understand.
I ask my kids all the time, the ones I supervise at my apple orchard, I say, what did you learn this week in English and history? This weekend's responses were, nothing. I said, are you reading a book? No. We had to take a test on poems. Oh, okay. Well, I got that. But in history class, what are you learning? I don't care. I was like, okay. That's where we're at. But anyway, we have a video for you to take a look at what's happening here.
Those questions included things like sexual orientation and asking the students how liberal their parents were. There were 48 questions in this survey. They were not vetted or approved by the school leadership or the district. The principal here at Challenger Middle School saying this survey didn't meet school standards. It's not clear if the teacher who included this in their lesson will face any disciplinary actions by the district, because the district said they refused to comment on personnel matters. But the principal did send out an email to parents this week saying the teacher was asked to remove that survey, and now they're apologizing to parents for the error.
Oh, yes. Mea culpa, mea culpa.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
By the way, yet another teacher wasn't vetted, apparently.
Of course. Yes. And as a school board member who was upset for the parents' reaction, Andrea Alvarez said it was a mistake made by a new teacher and handled within 1 hour of the superintendent being notified. Unfortunately, the parent decided that social media needed to find out before the school. Okay. Every new teacher we have, and pretty much any teacher who's maybe 10 years or less experience at this point should be considered all in the same group because they're coming from all the same kind of education background and being told in their education classes at college that everything must be race, class, gender. And I know it because I've been in it. Yep. And this is at every class that this is how you need to approach everything. And so if you don't have the right race or the right class or the right gender, or if you don't think progressively, liberally, the way they want you to, then you obviously are the bad people. And this new teacher, I would bet all the few pennies that I actually have that, either the teacher thinks absolutely nothing was wrong with it, and or the teacher thought this is exactly what is done because that's how that teacher was taught to teach.
Right.
So...
And we did a show earlier where we talked about the NEA president, Becky Pringle, and what she was saying to the crowds of teachers from across the country. Why would a young teacher or any teacher think this was not okay after hearing her as well?
Well, there you go. Now, when we come back, Ruh-roh, the classic cartoon Scooby-Doo, gives into the Rainbow Mafia as it outs, I'm not even going to tell you who, one of their characters for all children to enjoy. Stay tuned.
Today's show is sponsored by our friends at MyPillow. Save up to 66% on pristine quality bedding, towels, slippers, signature pillows, and much more when you use the code EDUCATED. That's EDUCATED. Educated. Support this show and a great American company.
We have all seen the Scooby-Doo at some point, and some of us enjoy Scooby-Doo, and some of us think Scooby-Doo's just all right. And it looks like I'm on the smarter end of it because, as we know, it must have gone woke because otherwise they wouldn't be having more and more cartoons, but they're having more and more cartoons, which means they went woke, and we know now Velma. Velma is a lesbian.
Say it isn't so.
The cartoon has preferences. And so last week, the new Trick or Treat Scooby-Doo movie came out, and so did Velma. The scene shows the Mystery Inc. member, they're part of Mystery Inc., in their van. She was being all googly-eyed and speechless when they encountered a costume designer named Coco Diablo. And apparently, because she went all googly-eyed, all cartoony, confirmed suspicions that have been held by the Scooby-Doo fan base who live on Reddit sub-streams or whatever the heck they're called. Apparently for decades, people have been caring about Velma, a cartoon character, and her sexuality. So there's that.
Somebody had too much time on their hands.
These are... Okay. Anyway, the scene was shown on Twitter and the Twitter sphere, and they went all gaga for it, so you decide.
And as promised, here are your Scooby snacks. Jinkies. I'm sure that Coco made some brilliant observations in the encounter we just had.
The cute one's right. Esteban, show them my brilliant observations.
Okay.
No. What? Is nothing sacred anymore?
No, David.
Not even Scoob.
Scooby, well, come on, Scooby-Doo has lots of other issues going on. Now, it has been a long open secret among fans and Scooby-Doo creatives that Velma is gay. Even James Gunn, who wrote the early live-action films, and Tony Cervone, I'm not even sure, who served as the supervising producer on the Mystery Incorporated series, have confirmed the character's sexuality. But you know what? They were never able to make it official on screen. It's like their lifelong dream is to get a cartoon character to be a lesbian. And hey, they've finally done it. Now, back in 2020, Gunn had tweeted that he tried to make Velma a lesbian in the live-action movies. In 2001, Velma was explicitly gay in my initial script, he wrote, but the studio just kept watering it down, becoming ambiguous, the version shot, and then nothing in the released version, and finally having a boyfriend in the sequel. But hey, the cartoon character can now be who she wants to be and speak her truth.
I'm glad you brought that up. Parental warning. Cartoons. You now have to be very, very aware and proactive about what kind of cartoons your young children are watching, because remember what Disney was doing too? Hey, they're trying to put in as many LGBTQ characters into their Disney productions, not just the cartoons. So parents, be warned.
Full Disney, full, I guess, Sesame Street, all of it.
Yeah.
Anything that once was, they're just updating and making everyone have a gay character or transgender character, all of it.
Yep.
Anyway, Before We Go is up next as we discuss a famed computer game from the 90s being made into a musical, and Oreo is announcing a new flavor to top the pumpkin spice for the holiday season. We're just gonna have to see what David has to say about this. Stick around.
We want to hear from you. If you have a question or comment for Katie, David, or any of our other show hosts, simply visit stayeducated.org. That's stayeducated.org and submit your question or comment. Our team loves to hear from you and might just give you a shout out on air. Again, visit stayeducated.org and connect with us.
All right, before we go, let me ask you, Miss Katie, do you remember playing the computer game Oregon Trail as a kid? Have you heard about it?
Oh, you bet your bottom dollar. We would put in the teachers we didn't like so much, and
Seriously?
maybe hope that they sort of got a disease and died. We were
honest
bad.
confession.
Honest confession.
Yeah. Well, despite the fact that nobody asked for it, the famed video game about the Old West is being turned into a musical. The filmmakers behind the new released movie Lyle, Lyle, Crocodile and the songwriters of The Greatest Showman are teaming up to develop Oregon Trail into a dark comedy musical. The Oregon Trail was first released in 1974, designed as an educational computer game for students to learn the circumstances of 19th century pioneer migration. The series has since spawned numerous sequels over the years, with the most recent published by Apple in 2021. Katie, would you brave the threats of snake bites and dysentery to see a musical about people covered in wagons?
Or in covered wagons.
In covered wagons, like I said.
Here's
or
the
covered
deal.
in wagons.
If they want to make it interactive, just allow everyone to have like pop guns and be able to shoot the buffalo. Did you ever play the game?
Pop guns.
Pop guns, so it'd be safe. They have pop guns, and then they can shoot the buffalo. And if they get to haul off the buffalo off the stage, win-win. But yes, hopefully no dysentery for all of you. But hey, that game did teach me about dysentery, let me tell you, and snake bites.
So there is some education there. Well, if that doesn't do it for you, another blast from the past is set to hit theaters next spring. Let's take a first look at Super Mario Brothers.
I finally found it. Now who's gonna stop me?
That's right, from the studio that brought you Despicable Me, The Minions, and Sing, Illumination is paired up with Nintendo to bring the video game Super Mario Bros. To the big screen. Chris Pratt leads the all-star cast, including Charlie Day, Seth Rogen, Jack Black, Keegan-Michael Key, and Fred Armisen. Super Mario Bros. Is set to hit theaters April 7th of next year. Katie, were you a Nintendo kid growing up?
Two ways to look at this. Yes and no. Yes, I was. We got a Super NES in our house. No, because I had two older brothers and they wouldn't let me play. So I sat and watched a lot.
Oh, my apologies. All right, let's wrap things up with a little treat for some of you out there. Mega Cookie Giant Oreo is releasing a new flavor for the holidays, and sadly it has nothing to do with pumpkin spice or apple pie. Nope. I introduced to you the Snickerdoodle Oreo.
Ooh.
The seasonal cookie will feature a cinnamon flavor cream and festive red and green sugar crystals. Fans will be able to get their hands on the newest addition to the Oreo lineup starting October 17. Katie, I must say we might have to get our hands on this new cookie and compare it to the pumpkin spice one that Oreo attempted to release
Yes, I want to know, David and I want to know, if you want to see that, we will try it. We will try all the holiday everythings.
Yeah. Send us your suggestions.
Send us suggestions, ideas. We need to know what products are out there. We will definitely do that.
Yep. That wraps up this segment. More to come next time.
All right. Once again, make sure you're tuning in tonight, maybe with, your own pumpkin spice treats.
Yes.
But tune in tonight at 7 p.m. Central Time on our Educated YouTube channel to witness our first ever food challenge. David and I go head to head to determine what food will be crowned king or queen of the pumpkin spice, or is it not nice? Now, as always, please, again, if you have a question or a comment, please let us know by visiting stayeducated.org. Now, for David and myself, thank you for watching, thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting what we do. Until next time, stay educated.